You weren't born weak. You were trained to be. Every scroll, every excuse, every time you blame the world instead of owning your mind, that's training, and it's working. Look around. Anxious, distracted, offended, exhausted. That's not you. That's what happens when weak habits run your life. You have one mind. One. It's the only thing that's actually yours. Not your phone, not your followers, not your reputation, not even your body. Just your mind, your judgment, your choices. And right now, most of you are renting it out for free. To notifications, to opinions, to comfort, to fear. This is not motivation. This is war. A war for your attention, your peace, your freedom, and you're losing it one small habit at a time. The ancients had a word for this. Slavery. Not with chains, with impulses. You think you're free because you can do what you want, but can you stop? Can you sit in silence? Can you say no? Can you choose discipline when your mood says quit? If not, you're not free. You're owned. So here's the deal. There are 15 weak habits killing you right now. Not someday, right now. They look harmless. They feel normal. Everyone does them. That's why everyone feels the way you feel. We kill them today, one by one. Not with shame, with clarity, not with hype, with truth. You don't need more information. You need less weakness. You don't need another hack. You need to remember who you are when no one's watching. The clock is running. Your mind is the battlefield. Your habits are the soldiers. Pick your side. You lose the war before 8 a.m. Not because the enemy is strong, because you open the gates. Eyes open, hand moves, screen lights up. Notifications, headlines, messages, outrage, other people's lives. You haven't met yourself yet, but you've already met the world. That is not a mourning. That is a surrender. And you do it daily, then wonder why you feel anxious, scattered, behind. This habit feels small. It isn't. How you start, it's how you live. If your first act is reaction, your day belongs to reaction. If your first act is intention, your day has a chance at direction. Most people wake up as servants to input. The mind is the fortress, the one thing truly yours. Yet you hand it to the algorithm, the news cycle, the group chat, before your feet hit the floor. You would never give a stranger your bank password on waking. Why give them your attention? Attention is your life. You spend it once. No refunds. From the Stoic lens, there are two domains, what is up to you and what is not. Your first hour should be spent entirely in what is up to you. Your breath, your body, your thoughts, your plan. Instead, you start in what is not up to you. Other people's emergencies, opinions, praise, criticism. You let externals set your internal state. Then you spend the next 16 hours trying to recover. You won't. The tone is set. A reactive morning creates a reactive mind. A reactive mind creates a reactive life. And a reactive life is not free. Look at what it costs you. You check the phone just for a second. 30 minutes vanish. You absorb 10 problems you can't solve yet. You compare your life to 10 highlight reels. You start the day in lack, in urgency, in someone else's story. Now you're rushing. Now you're irritable. Now you need coffee not for energy, but to mask the fog you created. You didn't wake up tired. You woke up and made yourself tired. That is the difference. You did it by starting as a consumer before you were a creator, as a responder before you were a ruler. Kill it with design, not willpower. Willpower is weak at 6 a.m. Design is stronger. The night before, decide the war. Phone in another room. Alarm clock on the dresser. Notebook where the phone used to be. Water by the bed. Clothes laid out. You're not making choices half asleep. You're following orders you gave when you were clear. The battle is won before it starts. That is strategy. That is command. Then execute the first hour for you. 3 moves. First, the body. Move. Push-ups, squats, cold water on the face, walk, 10 minutes. Show the body who leads. The body obeys action, not intention. Second, the mind. Write. 3 lines only. What did I do well yesterday? Where did I drift? What is the one thing that must happen today if nothing else does? Clarity beats volume. Third, the spirit. Stillness. 60 seconds. No input, no output. Breathe. Remember you are alive. That is enough to begin. Body, mind, spirit, before the world gets a vote. The resistance will come. Phantom vibrations. The thought, I should check, what if something happened? Ask, did the world end last night? No. It will wait 60 minutes. The urge is not information. It is addiction. Every time you feed it, it grows. Every time you deny it, it weakens. 7 days. Day 1 is friction. Day 2, your brain negotiates. Day 3, it lies. You've proved your point. Day 4, you feel space in your head. Day 5, you notice most urgent things weren't. Day 6, you feel calm. Day 7, you understand. You don't need the world first. The world needs you first, present and ordered. This is not about productivity. This is about sovereignty. The reactive man is owned. His focus is hijacked. He thinks he's busy. He's being used. The man who owns his morning is hard to own the rest of the day, because he started as the author, not the audience. He set the terms, and a man who sets his own terms is free even in a cage. A man who doesn't is a slave, even in a palace. The cost of keeping this habit is your life in fragments, years of mornings given away, thousands of days started in distraction. You'll get to the end with a record of replies, not a body of work, with notifications read, not books written, with other people's emergencies handled, and your own purpose untouched. That is a quiet death, and it begins with the first reach for the screen. So tomorrow, win the first battle. No inputs before outputs, no world before self, no reaction before intention. Own the dawn, because if you don't own the dawn, the day will own you. And if the day owns you, the week does. And if the week owns you, your life does. You have one mind. Start like it's yours, because it is. Act like it. The clock is running. The gates are yours. Stop opening them before you've put your armor on. Start reactive, stay a slave. Start intentional, stay free. Your life is changed in the first hour. Change the first hour. You double every injury. Once when it happens, again when you complain about it. The rain, the traffic, the price, the boss, the delay, the other driver, the government, the internet, your past, none of these are the problem. Your judgment about them is. And every complaint is you training your mind to be a victim of things you do not control. That is how weakness is built, one sentence at a time. From the Stoic view, the world is divided in two. What is up to you, your choices, your effort, your character, your response. What is not up to you, everything else. The weather, other people's actions, your body's aging, the past, the outcome. Complaining is the act of confusing the two. It is you arguing with reality. Reality always wins. So you lose twice. You suffer the event, then you suffer your resistance to it. This habit feels like relief. It isn't. It's rehearsal. You say, this traffic is ridiculous, and your body tenses, your mood sours, your mind narrows. You just taught your nervous system that you are powerless. Do it 10 times a day, and you are conditioning yourself for helplessness. You are lifting weights for your inner slave. The modern world runs on complaint. Social media is a complaint engine. Group chats are complaint circles. News is complaint theater. You participate, you marinate, you become it. Then you wonder why you feel powerless. Because you practiced it. Look at the cost. Complaining solves nothing. It changes no traffic light. It refunds no money. It fixes no relationship. It only signals to your own brain, I am not in command here. And the brain believes what you repeat. So you get more of what you complain about. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because you're training your attention to hunt problems and ignore solutions. You become a professional witness to your own life instead of the author. That is the opposite of freedom. The new generation has supercharged this. You can now complain to thousands in seconds, post the rant, get likes for your suffering. Turn pain into identity. The algorithm rewards it, because outrage is engagement. So you get addicted to the little hit of validation. You're right to be mad. But validation for weakness makes you weaker. You are not here to be right about how bad things are. You are here to be strong despite them. Kill it with the pause and the pivot. Step 1. Catch the sentence before it leaves your mouth. That tickle in your throat, that heat in your chest, that is the old habit loading. Pause. Breathe. Ask, is this up to me? If the answer is no, you have two moves: silence or action. If you can act, act. Fix it, improve it, leave it. If you can't act, accept it. Not with resignation, with command. Say inside, this is not mine to control. My response is. Then choose your response. That is power. That is freedom in real time. Step 2. Replace complaint with description. It's raining, instead of this stupid rain ruined my day. One is fact. The other is fiction you added. Facts don't hurt you. Stories do. The event is neutral. Your label makes it good or bad. Strip the label. Deal with the event. You'll find most problems shrink when you stop narrating them like tragedies. Traffic becomes time to think. Delay becomes time to breathe. Criticism becomes data. Nothing external can make you miserable without your consent. Complaining is consent. Step 3. Use obstacles as training. Every annoyance is a rep for your mind. The line is long? Practice patience. Someone is rude? Practice composure. Plan failed? Practice adaptability. The world is a gym. Complaining is skipping leg day because the weights are heavy. That's the point. You don't get strong by wishing the weight was lighter. You get strong by lifting it. So when the world gives you weight, say, good. This is what I'm here for. Not ease, not comfort, strength. Watch your mouth for 7 days. Every time you complain, mark it. No shame, just data. You'll be shocked. Most people complain 20 to 30 times before lunch. Each one is a vote for weakness. Now cast new votes. For every complaint you catch, replace it with one action or 1 second of silence. Day 1, you'll feel muted. Day 2, you'll feel tension. You're used to leaking energy through your mouth. Day 3, you notice space. Day 4, your mind is quieter. Day 5, you solve things you used to moan about. Day 6, you realize how much energy you wasted. Day 7, you feel dangerous. Because a person who doesn't complain is a person who acts. The world will not stop being difficult. That's not the goal. The goal is you stop being dominated by difficulty. The rain will fall. People will be foolish. Plans will break. That is life. Your job is not to have a life without problems. Your job is to have a self that is not wrecked by them. Complaint is you wrecking yourself. It is self-harm disguised as conversation. So close the leak. Your energy is finite. Every word of complaint is energy you could use to build, to solve, to lead, to endure. Stop paying tax to things you don't control. Stop narrating your own captivity. The event happened once. Don't make it happen again in your mouth. See it. Name it accurately. Act if you can. Accept if you can't. Move on. You are not here to report the weather. You are here to walk in it. Start now. The next time the sentence rises, swallow it. Choose strength. That is the Stoic path. That is the end of weakness. That is you, taking your mind back. 1 habit killed. 13 to go. Every false yes is a betrayal. Not of them, of you. You say yes when you mean no, because you fear the pause, the tension, the disapproval in their eyes. You trade your integrity for their comfort. You think you're keeping peace. You're funding a war inside yourself. Each time, you teach your mind that your values are negotiable, that your time is not yours, that your voice is smaller than their expectation. That is how a free person becomes a servant. From the Stoic view, your only real possession is your choice, your reasoned choice, not your reputation, not their feelings, not the outcome. When you say yes from fear, you are not choosing, you are reacting. You are handing your choice to anxiety. Fear says, if you say no, they will be upset. So you obey fear, not principle. You put their possible discomfort above your actual self-respect. That is inverted order. That is weakness training itself. This habit dresses up as kindness. It isn't. Kindness without courage is cowardice. You're not protecting them. You're protecting yourself from the discomfort of their reaction. Real kindness sometimes says no. Real kindness tells the truth. Real kindness keeps its word to itself first. Because a person who constantly betrays himself has nothing solid to give anyone else. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and every false yes drills another hole in yours. Look what it costs you. You say yes to the extra work and resent the person who asked. You say yes to the event and dread it for days. You say yes to the favor and do it poorly because you didn't want to. Now you've harmed two people, you and them. You gave them a half-hearted version of you. You gave yourself another lesson in self-distrust. Multiply that by years, you become a person who does not trust his own word, because his word means nothing. Your yes and no have no weight, and a person whose word has no weight has no freedom. You're taught to be liked, to be agreeable, to avoid being difficult. Social media trained you to optimize for approval. DMs, group chats, likes, all of it rewards compliance. So you say yes to plans you hate, opinions you don't hold, timelines you can't meet. You curate yourself into a brand that is pleasant but empty. Then you feel fake. Because you are. Not because you're evil. Because you're afraid. Fear of conflict is fear of being seen. And if you're never seen, you're never free. Kill it with the pause and the principle. Step 1. The pause. When the request comes, you don't answer. Not yet. Fear wants speed. Courage takes a breath. Say, let me check and get back to you. That one sentence buys back your mind. In that space, ask the real questions. Do I have the capacity? Does this align with my principles? If I say yes, can I do it well and without resentment? If the answer is no, the answer is no. Your time and energy are finite. Spend them like they matter, because they do. Step 2, the principle. You must know what you stand for before the moment of pressure. Write it down. What are your non-negotiables? Your health, your work, your family, your word to yourself. If the request violates those, the answer is no. Not mean, not angry, clean. I can't do that, period. No essay, no apology tour. Over-explaining is fear bargaining for approval. You don't owe a performance of your boundaries. You owe the boundary. The right people respect a clear no. The wrong people are offended by it, which tells you they wanted your compliance, not you. Step 3. Expect discomfort and walk through it. They might be disappointed. There might be silence. There might be tension. Good. That is the price of integrity. You pay it once. If you say yes from fear, you pay forever. In time, in energy, in self-respect. Pay it. The moment after the no is hard. 10 minutes later, you feel light. 10 days later, you feel strong. 10 years later, you have a life that is yours. Not a collection of other people's agendas you were too scared to decline. Practice on small things. The coffee you don't want. The call you don't have time for. The opinion you don't share. Say no with calm. Watch the world not end. Each small no is a rep for your backbone. You are building a self that can be trusted. And the self that can be trusted does not fear conflict. It knows conflict is sometimes the price of truth. And truth is the price of peace. Real peace, not the fake kind you buy with false yeses. This is not permission to be harsh. Stoicism is not cruelty. Say no with respect. I appreciate you asking. I can't commit to that. Kind, clear, final. You can be gentle and firm. You can be decent and direct. You can disappoint someone and still be a good person. In fact, you must. Because if you never disappoint anyone, you are guaranteed to disappoint yourself. And you have to live with you. The cost of not killing this habit is a life of quiet resentment. You'll help everyone but you. You'll be liked and unknown. You'll be busy and empty. You'll get to the end and realize you lived as an assistant in your own life. That is not duty. That is avoidance. Duty sometimes requires no. Justice sometimes requires no. Self-respect always requires no when no is the truth. So start now. The next request comes. Pause. Check with your principal. If it's no, say it. Feel the fear, say it anyway. Freedom is on the other side of that sentence. One word, no. Use it. Own it. Your life is not a suggestion box for other people's wants. It is a fortress of your choices. Guard the date. Every false yes is a breach. Every true no is a stone in the wall. Build the wall. Reclaim you. That is strength. That is stoic. That is the end of this habit. Comfort is killing you softly. Not with a blow, with a pillow. You think you want ease. You think peace means no friction. So you optimize your life for less resistance. The warm bed, the quick scroll, the delivered food, the heated seat, the path of least effort. Each choice feels good. Each choice makes you weaker. Because a mind that serves comfort cannot serve anything higher. And a life that serves comfort is not a life. It is a slow retreat from being alive. From the Stoic view, comfort is not good. Discomfort is not evil. Good and evil live only in your choices, your character, your will. Everything else, pleasure, pain, heat, cold, ease, hardship, is indifferent. It's raw material. You decide what to build with it. But you've been taught the opposite. You've been sold a lie, that the goal is to feel good, that a smooth life is a successful life, that discomfort is a problem to be solved. So you chase comfort like it's salvation. And in doing so, you create a self that breaks at the first sign of difficulty. Look at what it's done. You can't sit with boredom, so you reach for the phone. You can't sit with effort, so you quit. You can't sit with cold, so you never train. You can't sit with hunger, so you snack. You can't sit with awkward silence, so you fill it with noise. You've built a nervous system that treats any friction as an emergency. Your tolerance for life is shrinking, and a low tolerance for discomfort is a high tolerance for slavery. Because the world will always have discomfort. If you can't face it, you'll obey anyone who promises to remove it. The new generation has this habit on steroids. Everything is on demand. Food, entertainment, validation, distraction. All without waiting, without effort, without skin in the game. You've never been more comfortable. You've never been more anxious. That's not a coincidence. That's cause and effect. When you remove all voluntary hardship, involuntary hardship destroys you. Because you have no calluses. Death, loss, failure, rejection. They don't care about your app settings. And when they arrive, you fold. Because you trained for ease, not endurance. This habit convinces you it's self-care. It isn't. Self-care is doing what is good for your future self. Comfort care is doing what feels good to your present self. One builds you, one erodes you. Ice baths aren't comfortable. Hard conversations aren't comfortable. Saying no isn't comfortable. Waking early, training, focusing, creating, telling the truth, none of it is comfortable, but all of it is good. If you only do what's comfortable, you will never do what's right. You will never do what's necessary. You will never become who you could be. Kill it with voluntary hardship. Step 1. Choose discomfort daily. Small doses. Cold shower for 30 seconds. Take the stairs. Walk without headphones. Leave one bite on the plate. Do the hard task first. These are not punishments. They are inoculations. You are teaching your body and mind, I am in charge, not my urges. You are expanding your window of tolerance. The wider it gets, the freer you are. Because a person who can be comfortable in discomfort can be free anywhere. Step 2. Reframe the meaning. Discomfort is not a signal to stop. It's a signal you are alive and growing. Muscle grows under tension. Character grows under pressure. Courage only exists where there is fear. You don't want a life without resistance. You want a self that can meet resistance and not break. So when the cold hits, when the effort burns, when the urge to quit screams, say good. This is training. This is the price. Pay it gladly. The alternative is a life so soft that reality feels like violence. Step 3. Audit your comforts. What do you run to when you feel stress, sadness, boredom? Food, scrolling, porn, shopping, weed. Make a list. Those are your chains. Not because the things themselves are evil, because you use them to escape instead of to engage. Cut one this week. Just one. Replace it with action. Anxious, walk. Bored, write. Angry, lift. Tired, breathe. Teach your system a new equation. Discomfort equals movement, not numbing. In 30 days, you won't recognize your capacity. The cost of not killing this habit is a shrinking life. You'll say no to opportunities because they're hard. You'll stay in relationships because leaving is uncomfortable. You'll keep the job you hate because risk is uncomfortable. You'll die with potential untouched because growth is uncomfortable. You'll look back and see a life that was safe, soft, and small. That is not peace. That is a cage you decorated. And you hold the key. This is not a call to suffer for no reason. Stoicism isn't about pain. It's about freedom. And freedom requires strength. Strength requires stress. So you stress yourself on purpose, so life stress doesn't own you. You choose your hard, because if you don't choose your hard, life will choose it for you, and you won't like the timing. So today, do one uncomfortable thing. 1, not 10. 1. Make the call, have the talk, take the cold, finish the rep, sit in silence. Feel the resistance, and move anyway. That is how you tell your mind who leads. That is how you stop worshiping comfort and start building character. You were not born for ease. You were born for greatness. And greatness is never comfortable. It is forged in fire, not in blankets. So put the blanket down, stand up, step into the cold, into the work, into the life you actually want. Comfort is a servant. Make it serve you. Never again let it be your master. 1 habit killed. 11 to go. You are not your first reaction. But if you obey it, you become it. Someone cuts you off. A message triggers you. A comment hits wrong. Instantly, the heat rises. Jaw tightens. Words load. Fingers type. And you fire. No gap. No thought. No choice. Just impulse wearing your name. That is not strength. That is slavery. The space between what happens and what you do, that space is your freedom. And you're giving it away for free, every single day. From the Stoic view, events don't hurt you. Your judgments about events hurt you. Someone insults you. The insult is just sound. Your judgment, this is intolerable, I must attack, that creates the suffering. The pause is where you examine the judgment. No pause, no examination. No examination, no freedom. You become a puppet. Pull the string, anger. Pull another, anxiety. Pull another, jealousy. You're not living, you're being lived. By reflex, by habit, by other people who figured out exactly how to press your buttons. This habit is fast. It hijacks you in milliseconds. That's why it's dangerous. You think you're responding to the world. You're responding to your own untested impressions. You see a text, assume tone, feel disrespected, and launch. Later you learn they were busy, not rude. Too late, the damage is done. To your peace, to your relationships, to your self-respect. Because deep down you know, you weren't in control. You were controlled. And nothing erodes a person faster than knowing he can't trust himself in heat. The new generation lives in reaction. Notifications are designed to provoke. Apps reward the hot take, the clapback, the instant opinion. Outrage is currency. If you don't react fast, you feel left out. So you train yourself to speak before you think, to judge before you understand, to emote before you assess. You become a broadcast tower for your first impulse. And first impulses are usually wrong. They're old fears, old wounds, old patterns talking. They're not you. They're your conditioning. And if you let conditioning run your life, you don't have a life. You have a rerun. Kill it with the gap. Step 1. Feel the surge and don't obey it. The surge is physical. Chest tight. Face hot. Breath short. That's the alarm. It's not a command. It's data. Name it. This is anger rising. Naming it creates distance. You are not anger. You are the one noticing anger. That's the pause. 1 second. 2 seconds. In that second, you go from puppet to operator. Most mistakes happen because you couldn't wait 2 seconds. 2 seconds is the difference between war and wisdom. Step 2. Breathe before you behave. Inhale 4 counts. Hold 4. Exhale 6. Do it once. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between a lion and a mean tweet. It fires the same chemicals. Breath tells the body, no lion, we can think. Once the body settles, the mind can see. Ask, what actually happened? Strip the story. He didn't disrespect you. He said words. The traffic didn't target you. Cars moved slow. Facts first, judgment second. Most of the time, the facts alone aren't enough to justify the fire you felt. The fire came from the story you added. Step 3. Choose the response, not the reaction. Reaction is automatic. Response is chosen. Reaction asks, how do I make them feel what I feel? Response asks, what outcome do I want? Do you want peace? Then don't escalate. Do you want respect? Then don't grovel. Do you want clarity? Then ask a question instead of making an accusation. Silence is a response. Waiting an hour is a response. Walking away is a response. Not every door needs to be kicked open. Some just need you to wait until you have the right key. The barista gets your order wrong. The slow walker is in front of you. The comment under your post is dumb. Feel the itch to snap? Don't. Pause. Breathe. Let it pass. Those are reps. You're building a new circuit. Stimulus, space, choice. Do it when it's easy, so you can do it when it's hard. Because one day the stakes will be high. A betrayal, a loss, a crisis. And the person who has practiced the pause will still own himself. The person who hasn't will burn his life down in 5 minutes of reflex. The cost of not killing this habit is regret on repeat. You'll say things you can't unsay. You'll send messages you can't unsend. You'll break things you can't rebuild. You'll look back and see a trail of damage done in moments you weren't present. And the worst part, you'll know it wasn't even you. It was the automatic you, the wounded you, the untrained you. That is a prison. And you hold the key. It's called the pause. This is not about being passive. Stoicism isn't apathy. It's power. Real power is not unleashing force. It's controlling force. A river without banks is a flood. A river with banks runs a city. Your emotions are the river. The pause is the banks. Build them when you can feel rage and not swing, feel fear and not flee, feel shame and not hide. That is strength. That is command. That is freedom. So today, insert the gap. 1 breath before you speak, 1 minute before you reply, 1 hour before you decide. You don't lose the moment, you gain yourself. And a person who has himself cannot be easily taken. The world will provoke you. That's its job. Your job is to not take the bait. You are not a machine that reacts. You are a mind that chooses. Act like it. The pause is your power. Use it. Every time you do, you kill the habit a little more. And you get your life back, 1 second at a time. You are not alive. You are a performance. You wake up and check how you look to them. You post and wait to see if they approve. You speak and scan their faces for permission. You choose clothes, careers, opinions, partners, based on what scores points with an audience that isn't even paying attention. That is not a life. That is a campaign. And you are losing yourself to win people who don't care. From the Stoic view, other people's opinions are not up to you. Their thoughts, their praise, their blame, their likes, their whispers, none of it is in your control. Your choices are, your character is, your actions are. But you flipped it. You neglect what is yours and obsess over what is theirs. You hand the steering wheel of your mind to people who aren't even in the car. Then you wonder why you feel directionless, anxious, empty. Because you are. You abandon the driver's seat. This habit feels like survival. It isn't. It's slow suicide. Every time you edit yourself to be palatable, you erase a piece of you. Say the thing they want to hear. Wear the mask they applaud. Chase the job they respect. Post the version of your life that gets hearts. Each edit makes you smoother, safer, more liked, and less real. You become a brand, not a person. Brands don't have souls. Brands have audiences, and audiences are fickle. Today they love you, tomorrow they scroll past. If your worth is built on their eyes, you die every time they look away. The new generation is drowning in this. You were born into the reputation economy. Likes are currency. Comments are judgment. Follower count is status. You've been trained since childhood to curate, to compare, to perform. You think you're sharing your life. You're auditioning for approval, for belonging, for safety. But the stage never ends. There's always another post, another story, another chance to be misunderstood. So you stay on. You stay vigilant. You stay fake. Because real is risky, and risky doesn't get likes. Look at the cost. You don't take the risk because what will they think? You don't speak the truth because how will it land? You don't start the thing because people might laugh. You don't leave what's killing you because what would they say? You live a filtered life and call it wisdom. It's fear. You are ruled by ghosts, the imagined voices of people who are too busy worrying about their own opinions to worry about yours. You are in a prison with no guards. The only lock is your belief that their thoughts matter more than your freedom. Kill it with the inner audit. Step 1. Separate fact from fantasy. Most opinions you fear don't exist. They're projections. You assume they're judging. You assume they're watching. They're not. They forgot you 5 seconds after they saw you. Everyone is the main character in their own story. You are an extra in theirs. Act like it. Stop directing scenes in their heads. They're not running them. You are, and it's exhausting. The truth? People don't think about you as much as you think they think about you. Let that set you free. Step 2. Choose your judges. You can't live without standards, but you can choose them. Pick 3 people, dead or alive, whose character you respect. Would they approve of your choice? Not the crowd, not the comment section, the 3. If your life was a courtroom, who sits on your jury? Choose them deliberately. When fear of opinion rises, ask, what would my jury say? If they'd respect it, move. If not, adjust. This isn't about pleasing people. It's about pleasing the right people, and the first one is your future self. Step 3. Practice disapproval. Do one thing a week that you respect, but others might not. Wear the thing, say the thing, start the thing. Post nothing about it. Let it be yours. Feel the discomfort of being seen and not instantly validated. That itch is the habit dying. Every time you survive someone's raised eyebrow, you get stronger. Every time you choose your principle over their applause, you get freer. Soon you'll realize, disapproval doesn't kill you. It clarifies you. It shows you who stays when you're real. This is not permission to be cruel or reckless. Stoicism isn't defiance for sport. It's integrity. Do good, be just, be kind, but do it because it's right, not because it's popular. If doing right costs you approval, pay it. That's the price of a soul. If doing wrong buys you approval, don't buy it. That's the price of your soul. The market is always open. Choose what you trade. The cost of not killing this habit is a life you don't recognize. You'll get to the end with a perfect reputation and no self. You'll be mourned by people who never knew you, because you never let them. You'll have done everything right and felt everything wrong. You'll have been loved for a mask and died with your face still on. That is the ultimate loss, not death, never having lived as you. So today, reclaim your gaze. Stop looking out for permission and look in for direction. Ask, if no one ever knew, would I still do it? If yes, do it. If no, don't. Live from the inside out. Let them think what they want. Their minds are not your home. Your mind is. You are angry. You say it's them. You are anxious. You say it's the situation. You are empty. You say it's your past, your job, your partner, the economy, the news. You point out, always out, never in. And so you stay in turmoil. Because you keep treating the symptom like the disease. The external is the trigger. The internal is the bomb. You're blaming the finger that pulled the trigger while ignoring the explosives you packed inside yourself. From the Stoic view, nothing external can touch your mind without your consent. Events happen. That's life. Your turmoil is what you do with events. Two people lose the same job. One despairs, one rebuilds. Same event, different inner world. The difference isn't the event. It's the judgment, the expectation, the attachment, the story. Blame puts all power outside you. That feels safe because it means it's not my fault. But if it's not your fault, it's not your fix. And if it's not your fix, you're stuck forever. This habit is addictive because it protects ego. If you blame, you don't have to change. I'm miserable because of my childhood means you don't have to face today. I'm angry because they disrespected me means you don't have to examine your need for respect. I'm anxious because the world is unstable means you don't have to build inner stability. Blame is a drug. It numbs responsibility. And like any drug, the relief is short and the cost is long. You get to keep your story. You lose your power. The new generation has turned blame into identity. Trauma is content. Victimhood is currency. There's a script. Find the external cause. Name it, post it, gather witnesses. You get sympathy, not strength. You get a community of agreement, not a path out. And the algorithm loves it, because blame is engaging. It confirms that life is unfair and you're right to feel bad. But staying right about your pain keeps you in pain. You win the argument and lose your life. Look at the mechanics. Something happens. You feel bad. Instead of asking, why does this hurt me, you ask, who did this to me? You locate an external cause. You rehearse it. You tell others. Each retelling reinforces it. Now your brain links your inner state to an outer event. You've wired yourself to be helpless, because externals are not up to you. If your peace depends on other people being kind, on plans working, on the past being different, you will never have peace. you've made yourself a hostage to fortune. Kill it with ownership. Step 1. The reversal. When turmoil rises, point the finger back, not to shame, to locate the controls. Ask, what belief of mine is being challenged here? What expectation did I have that reality violated? What part of me needs this person to act a certain way to be okay? The pain is a messenger. Blame shoots the messenger. Ownership reads the message. The message is always about you, your values, your attachments, your gaps. That's good news, because you can work with you. Step 2. Separate event from interpretation. Write it out. Line 1. What happened? Facts only. I was not invited. Line 2. What I made it mean. I am not valued. Line 3. Is that true? Can I know for certain? Line 4. What is up to me now? I can ask, I can let go, I can strengthen other ties. The event is neutral. Your interpretation creates the turmoil. Change the interpretation, change the state. This isn't positive thinking, it's accurate thinking. Blame is inaccurate. It assigns power where it doesn't belong. Step 3. Take responsibility for your state, not for their actions, for your response. I am angry, instead of you made me angry. I am anxious, instead of this situation is causing anxiety. Language is ownership. When you say you made me, you give them your remote control. Take it back. You feel what you feel because of your judgments. Judgments can be examined. Examined judgments can be changed. Changed judgments change lives. That's the work. Hard, unglamorous, internal work. No one applauds it, but it ends the war inside. Practice with small triggers. Someone cuts you off. Feel the flare. Don't say, he's an idiot. Say, I'm assigning meaning to his driving. Someone doesn't text back. Don't say, they don't care. Say, I'm equating speed with care. Each time you pull blame back to judgment, you reclaim power. Do it 100 times. On day 1, you'll fail. On day 10, you'll catch it mid-sentence. On day 30, you'll catch it mid-thought. On day 90, you'll live in a different world. Not because the world changed, but because you stopped renting your mind to it. This is not denial. Bad things happen. People harm. Injustice exists. Stoicism doesn't say, pretend it's fine. It says, don't add self-harm to harm. You can fight injustice without inner turmoil. You can grieve without blame. You can hold others accountable without making your peace depend on their change. In fact, you'll fight better, grieve cleaner, hold stronger when you're not run by rage or despair. Blame clouds, ownership clears. The cost of not killing this habit is permanent instability. You'll live at the mercy of weather, moods, headlines, and other people's choices. You'll be a thermometer, not a thermostat. Up when things go well, down when they don't. Never steady, never free. And you'll age into bitterness, because blame curdles into resentment. Resentment is blame with a memory. It poisons everything it touches, starting with you. So today, end the outsourcing. The next time turmoil hits, don't look for who to blame. Look for what to own. Your expectation, your attachment, your response. That is your territory. Govern it. The world will keep being the world. People will be people. Events will be events. But you were never supposed to. You were supposed to control you. Start now. Your mind is not a victim. Stop treating it like one. 1 habit killed. 8 to go. You call it peace. It isn't. It's cowardice with good manners. You swallow the truth to keep the room comfortable. You nod when you should speak. You let the disrespect slide to avoid the tension. You watch wrong things happen and say nothing because conflict feels worse than complicity. But peace bought with silence is not peace. It's debt, and the interest is your self-respect, compounded daily. From the Stoic view, justice is a cardinal virtue. Justice means giving each person their due, including you. That requires conflict, Not chaos, not ego, necessary conflict. The kind that protects boundaries, corrects wrongs, tells truth, upholds standards. Avoiding it isn't virtuous, it's vice. You're not keeping harmony, you're enabling disorder. In yourself first, then in the world around you. Because what you tolerate, you teach. And you are teaching people how to treat you and how to treat others through every conflict you duck. This habit hides behind nice words. I don't want drama. I'm picking my battles. It's not worth it. Sometimes true, often a lie. You're not picking your battles. You're avoiding all of them. You're not above drama. You're afraid of discomfort. You think conflict is the problem. No, unresolved conflict is the problem. Conflict deferred is conflict multiplied. The small talk you avoid today becomes the resentment you carry tomorrow. The boundary you don't set today becomes the violation you endure next week. The truth you don't say now becomes the lie you live later. The new generation is allergic to this. You were raised on be kind without be clear. You were taught that disagreement is harm, that discomfort is violence, that if someone feels bad, you did bad. So you manage feelings instead of facing facts. You ghost instead of confront. You post passive quotes instead of having direct talks. You call it emotional intelligence. It's emotional avoidance. And it makes you weak. Because a person who can't handle tension can't handle truth. And a person who can't handle truth can't handle life. Look at the cost. You avoid the hard conversation at work, so you do their job and yours, and burn out. You avoid the talk with your friend, so the friendship rots in resentment. You avoid the boundary with family, so every holiday is a performance and a hangover. You avoid correcting your own behavior, so you repeat the same failure and call it fate. All because 5 minutes of discomfort felt like too high a price. Now you're paying in years. That's not peace. That's a long, slow war with yourself. Kill it with clarity and courage. Step 1. Define necessary. Not every conflict is yours. Not every hill is worth dying on. Necessary conflict meets 3 tests. 1. A principle is being violated. Honesty, respect, fairness, your core values. 2. Silence enables harm, to you or others. 3. You can address it without malice. If it passes, it's necessary. If not, let it go. This isn't permission to be combative. It's obligation to be just. The Stoic doesn't fight everything. He fights the right things at the right time in the right way. Step 2. Prepare, then enter. Conflict without preparation is impulse. Preparation without conflict is avoidance. Write it down. What happened? Facts only. What boundary was crossed? What do you want to happen next? What are you willing to accept if it doesn't? Know your line before you speak. Then speak. Short, clear, calm. When you did X, it violated Y. I need Z going forward. No essay, no character assassination, no apology for having a standard. You're not attacking them, you're defending what's right. If they react badly, that's data, not your debt. Step 3. Endure the aftermath. The hardest part isn't starting conflict. It's sitting in the silence after. The awkwardness, the distance, the possibility they don't like you. Good. You don't need to be liked by people who require your silence. You need to be respected by people who can handle your truth, starting with you. Most conflict done cleanly earns respect, even when it stings. People trust a straight spine. They use a bent one. Feel the discomfort and don't retreat. Breathe. Let it be. Freedom is on the other side of that tension. Practice on small fields. The waiter brings the wrong order. The friend interrupts constantly. The coworker takes credit. Say the thing. Low stakes, clean language. You're building the muscle. Because one day the stakes will be high. Cheating, lying, abuse, injustice. And if you haven't trained in small conflict, you will fail in big conflict. You'll fold when it matters most. Courage isn't born in crisis. It's built in daily reps. Start repping. This is not a call to be harsh. Stoicism is firm, not cruel. Necessary conflict seeks resolution, not domination. You can be direct without being disrespectful. You can be hard on the issue and soft on the person, but you must be hard on the issue, because injustice unopposed grows. Disrespect unopposed repeats. Your silence is a vote, casted consciously. The cost of not killing this habit is a life of quiet corrosion. You'll be liked by everyone and respected by no one, including yourself. You'll keep external peace and lose internal peace. You'll be safe and small. You'll die having never said the thing that needed saying, never defended the thing that needed defending, never become the person who could be trusted to stand up. That is not kindness. That is abandonment of duty, of others, of you. So today, pick one necessary conflict. 1. Have the talk. Set the line. Tell the truth. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Conflict is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Peace is not the absence of conflict. It's the presence of justice. And justice sometimes requires a fight. You are not here to be comfortable. And good people have spines. Stand up, speak up. 1 habit killed, 7 to go. You are full and empty at the same time. Full of input, empty of output. You scroll, you watch, you listen, you read, you binge, you take in 10,000 lives that aren't yours. Then you wonder why you feel anxious, numb, behind, and useless. Because you are. Not in worth, in function. You were made to create, not just consume. A mind that only consumes becomes a landfill. A life that only consumes becomes a spectator sport. And spectators don't win. From the Stoic view, your nature is to be active, to contribute, to apply reason to the world. Virtue is action, not information. You can know every quote, every fact, every tutorial, and still be a slave if you never act. Knowledge without application is weight. Consumption without creation is decay. The world feeds you constantly. But what do you feed the world? If the answer is nothing, you are not living. You are being lived by algorithms, marketers, and other people's output. They create, you consume. They shape the world, you rent space in it. This habit feels productive. It isn't. You call it research. You call it staying informed. You call it learning. For 3 hours, daily. You finish courses you never use. You save posts you never implement. You watch people build businesses, bodies, books, families, and you mistake watching for doing. Your brain gets the dopamine of progress without the risk of action. So you stay stuck, but entertained. That is the trap. Consumption is safe, creation is exposure. So you consume to avoid the terror of being seen trying. The new generation is the most consumed generation in history. Infinite scroll, infinite content, infinite tabs. Your attention is the most harvested crop on earth. You wake up and start ingesting news, drama, memes, opinions, outrage, tutorials on lives you won't live. Your mind never gets still, never gets hungry, never gets bored. And boredom is where creation is born. Without space, nothing new comes through you. You are a vessel clogged with other people's voices. So, when it's time to speak, you have nothing to say. Because you never listen to yourself. Look at the cost. You consume fitness content and stay weak. You consume business content and stay broke. You consume relationship content and stay lonely. You consume philosophy and stay undisciplined. You are a library with no author, a museum with no artist. All intake, no output. And the gap between what you know and what you do becomes shame. That shame drives more consumption to numb it. The cycle tightens. You become a consumer of solutions for the problem that consumption created. Kill it with the ratio. Step 1. Invert it. For every hour you consume, you must create for 2 Read a chapter, write a page. Watch a tutorial, apply one step. Listen to a podcast, teach one idea out loud. No more passive intake. Every input demands output. If you can't pay the creation tax, you don't get to consume. This sounds harsh. It's freedom. Because it forces you to stop treating your mind like a trash can and start treating it like a workshop. Step 2. Start before you're ready. Consumption whispers learn more first. That's fear. You don't need more information. You need more courage. Write the bad post. Record the awkward video. Build the ugly version. Make the call. Ship the draft. Creation is messy. Consumption is clean. That's why you prefer it. But nothing great was ever consumed into existence. It was created, then refined. You can't edit a blank page, so produce the blank page with words on it. Now you have something to work with. Now you're in the game. Step 3. Schedule creation before consumption. First hour of the day, no input, only output. Journal, build, plan, train, make. The world gets the rest of your day. You get the first hour. Defend it like your life depends on it, because it does. If you start with consumption, you'll never get to creation. Your brain will be full, your dopamine spent, your willpower gone. But if you start with creation, you set the tone. You are a producer, not a product. Move through the day as one. Practice the fast. 1 day a week, no input. No podcasts, no videos, no social, no news, no books. Only output. Walk, think, write, build, talk to people. See what comes up when you're not being filled. At first, it's panic. Then, boredom. Then, ideas. Your own ideas. You'll remember you have them. You'll remember you are not just a receiver. You are a source. But sources dry up when they're never used. Use yours. This is not anti-learning. Stoicism loves learning, but learning is for use. If you don't use it, you didn't learn it. You collected it. Collectors are not free. Craftsmen are. So be a craftsman. Take the raw material of the world and make something. A thought, a tool, a service, a sentence, a better you. The world doesn't need more consumers. It needs more creators. It needs you, making. The cost of not killing this habit is a life of regret at scale. You'll die with all the songs inside you, still inside you. You'll have watched 1,000 people live and never lived yourself. You'll be informed about everything and known for nothing. You'll be full of other people's lives and empty of your own. That is not peace. That is a quiet tragedy. So today, make before you take, write before you read, build before you watch, speak before you listen, give before you get. Tip the scales. Be the one who adds. The world will take from you either way. Choose to give on purpose. You are not here to be entertained. You are here to be effective. Create something now. 1 habit killed, 6 to go. You are a liar. Not to them, to you. I'll start tomorrow. Just this once. Monday. Next month. After this episode. You make vows in the quiet and break them in the light. Then you wonder why you don't trust yourself. Because you shouldn't. You've taught yourself that your word means nothing. And a person who can't keep his own word is a person who can't be free. From the Stoic view, your word is your will. Your will is your power. When you say, I will do this, and then don't, you fracture the will. Do it enough, and the will stops believing you. Then you try to act, and nothing moves. Not because you're weak, because you've made yourself untrustworthy to yourself. You are in a relationship with you, and you are cheating daily. No relationship survives constant betrayal, especially the one inside your head. This habit is quiet. No one sees it. That's why it's deadly. You wouldn't break promises to your boss, your friend, your partner, not this often. You fear their disappointment, but you don't fear yours. You abandon yourself and call it no big deal. It is a big deal. It's the only deal. Because if you can't follow your own direction, you will follow anyone's. You become suggestible. You become lost. You outsource your life to moods, cravings, and other people's plans, not because they're strong, because you made yourself weak. The new generation is fluent in this betrayal. You set goals publicly for accountability, then quit privately and call it self-compassion. You buy the journal, the app, the course, make the plan, post the declaration. Day 1, fire. Day 3, excuses. Day 7, ghost. You've trained your nervous system to expect failure from you, so it doesn't even prepare for success. Why would it? You never follow through. You are the boy who cried discipline and never showed up. So when a real crisis comes, there's no one inside to answer. Because you abandoned the post years ago. Look at the cost. You don't trust your plans, so you stop making them. You don't trust your goals, so you set smaller ones, and still miss. You don't trust your voice in your head, so you seek constant external validation. You become a person who needs an audience to act, a coach to move, a deadline to try. That's not freedom. That's dependence. And dependence on externals is the definition of slavery. All because you kept breaking the one promise that matters, the one you made to you. Kill it with integrity, one rep at a time. Step 1. Stop making promises you won't keep. You think big promises prove ambition. They prove nothing. They destroy trust. Shrink the promise until it's undeniable. Not work out an hour daily. Do 5 push-ups. Not write a book. Write 1 sentence. Not quit sugar forever. No sugar after 8 p.m. today. Make it so small you'd be embarrassed to fail. Then don't fail. The goal isn't the push-ups, it's the repair. You are rebuilding credit with yourself. And credit is built in small, kept deposits. Step 2. Separate feeling from doing. You break promises because you wait to feel like it. You won't. Discipline is not a feeling, it's a decision. Your mood is weather. Your word is climate. Don't run your life by weather. When you said you'd do it, you didn't add, if I feel motivated. You said you'd do it. So do it tired, do it sad, do it busy, do it on bad days especially. Because bad days are where the contract is tested. Anyone can keep promises when it's easy. Stoics keep them when it's hard. That's when it counts. That's when trust is forged. Step 3. Track, don't judge. Get a calendar. Put an X on every day you keep the promise. No stories, no excuses, no justifications. X or no X. I always fail becomes I failed 3 of 7 days. Now you have data, not drama. Your job is to make the next X. Not to be perfect. To be consistent. Perfection is the enemy of kept promises. Consistency is the mother. Miss a day? The next X matters more, not less. Never miss twice. That's the rule. 1 slip is a data point. 2 is a new habit. Kill it before it forms. Practice with stakes. Make the promise cost something. Tell 1 person. Put money on it. Set a consequence you don't like. Not to punish, to signal seriousness. Your brain keeps promises when the pain of breaking exceeds the comfort of quitting. Right now, breaking is free. Make it expensive, because it is. Every broken promise costs you future power. Price it accordingly. This is not about hustle. It's about wholeness. A person divided against himself cannot stand. When your word and your action split, you split. When they align, you become solid. Solid people are hard to shake, hard to manipulate, hard to break. That's freedom. Not doing what you feel, doing what you said, even when, especially when, you don't feel like it. The cost of not killing this habit is a life of self-doubt. You'll want big things and attempt small ones. You'll dream and then explain why not. You'll look in the mirror and see someone you can't rely on, and the world will treat you accordingly. Because people can smell a person who doesn't keep his own word. They won't trust you with much if you don't trust you with anything. So today, make 1 promise. Tiny. Keep it. Tomorrow, keep it again. Become a person your future self can count on. Because he's waiting. He's depending on you. Don't betray him again. You are not your feelings. You are your commitments. Honor them. 1 habit killed, 5 to go. You are at war with reality. And you are losing. Every day. You wake up with a list of demands. The weather should be nice. People should be kind. Traffic should be clear. Plans should work. Your body should cooperate. Life should be fair. When the world doesn't obey, you suffer. You call it stress. You call it bad luck. You call it injustice. It's not. It's you demanding that existence bend to your preferences. Existence doesn't negotiate. So you lose, then blame the world for winning. From the Stoic view, there is what happens, and there is what you want to happen. The first is reality. The second is fiction until you act. Your turmoil lives in the gap between them. You think if you want it hard enough, if you complain loud enough, if you resent deeply enough, reality will adjust. It won't. The rain doesn't care you had plans. The market doesn't care you need the money. People don't care you think they should act different. The world is not a restaurant, and you are not placing orders. Yet you live like a customer filing complaints to a manager who doesn't exist. This habit is entitlement wearing logic. You think it shouldn't be this way is wisdom. It's weakness. Should is you arguing with what is, and you will never win that argument. You can argue with a wall for years. The wall remains. Your knuckles don't. Every should is a vote for suffering. They should text back faster. Suffering. This should be easier. Suffering. I shouldn't have to deal with this. Suffering. You are manufacturing your own pain and charging the universe for it. The universe doesn't pay invoices. The new generation weaponizes this. You were told you can be anything, have anything, deserve everything. That feeling became fact. So when life says no, you don't adjust. You protest. You post. You pathologize. You demand accommodations from reality itself. Anxiety spikes because the world won't match the script in your head, but the script was never a contract. And wishes are not strategy. You can't manifest your way out of traffic. You can't hashtag your way out of loss. You have to deal with what is, not what you ordered. Look at the cost. You spend your energy fighting conditions instead of working within them. You waste hours resenting the game instead of learning the rules. You call people difficult because they won't play your preferred version of reality. You miss opportunities because they didn't arrive in the package you wanted. You become brittle. Anything outside your preference breaks you, and life is mostly outside your preference. So you live broken, calling it sensitivity, calling it standards. It's neither. It's a refusal to grow up. Kill it with inversion. Step 1. Replace should with does. Not people should be honest. People do lie sometimes. Not this shouldn't be hard. This is hard. Not I shouldn't feel this. I do feel this. Description over prescription. Facts over fantasies. When you name reality without arguing, you can act on it. When you argue, you stall. The world is as it is. Your power starts when you accept the starting position. You don't have to like it, you have to see it. Step 2. Want what happens. Not passive resignation, active alignment. Train yourself to prefer reality because reality is all you get to work with. It rains on your event. Say, good, I get to practice adaptability. You get injured. Good, I get to practice patience. You get rejected. Good, I get to practice self-sufficiency. This isn't delusion, it's discipline. You can't control the event, but you can control your relationship to it. When your preference is whatever happens, you become unbeatable. Because nothing can happen that violates your will. You willed reality. Now you're free inside it. Step 3. Audit your demands. Write them down, all the shoulds you carry. My partner should understand me without explaining. Work should be fulfilling daily. My body should look different by now. People should drive better. See the list. See the insanity. You've made your peace conditional on 1,000 things you don't control. Burn the list. Replace each with a question. Given that people don't always understand, what will I do? Given that work has boring parts, how will I endure? Given that traffic exists, when will I leave? You shift from demanding to dealing, from child to adult. Practice with small frictions. Coffee is cold? Don't demand hot. Drink it or get a new one. Plan cancels. Don't demand compliance. Replan. Someone is rude. Don't demand manners. Hold your own. Each time you drop the demand, you gain power. Because you stop leaking energy into the void of should. You stop being a beggar to reality. You become a player in it. And players don't whine about the field. They play the field they're on. This is not apathy. Stoicism isn't don't care. It's don't demand. Care deeply. Act fully. But act on what is, not what you wish was. You can work to change the world without demanding it change for you. Build the business despite the market. Love the person despite their flaws. Train the body despite its limits. All action, zero entitlement. That's strength. Demanding is weakness with a megaphone. The cost of not killing this habit is perpetual frustration. You'll live offended by life. You'll age into bitterness, because reality will never submit to your preferences. You'll call it a cruel world. It's not cruel. It's indifferent. Your demands don't wound it. They wound you. Every should is a knife you hold to your own throat, waiting for the world to stop it. The world won't. You have to put it down. So today, cancel the orders. Retire the demands. Meet what is. Work with what is. Prefer what is. Because what is, and you are either in fight with it or in flow with it. 1. Frees you. You don't need the world to match you. You need you to match the world. Then you can change it. 1 habit killed. 4 to go. You are waiting to die. Not literally, practically. You say, I'll start when I feel ready. You won't. Ready is a feeling. Feelings follow action. They don't lead it. So you wait for a signal that never comes, for a day that never arrives, for a version of you that only exists after you've done the thing you're avoiding. That is the trap. You want courage before the act. Courage is built by the act. You want motivation before movement. Movement creates motivation. You have it backwards, and it's costing you your life. From the Stoic view, action is up to you. Feelings are not. Waiting for the right feeling is waiting for something outside your control. That is slavery. You are putting your life on layaway, hoping mood, confidence, inspiration, or clarity will show up and unlock it. They won't. They are tenants, not owners. They come and go. Your will is the owner. It can move with or without them. But you've forgotten that. You've made ready your master, and masters don't serve. They delay. This habit dresses up as wisdom. I'm not prepared yet. I need more research. The timing isn't right. Sometimes true. Most times fear in a lab coat. You prepare forever so you never have to perform. You research so you never have to risk. You wait for perfect conditions that don't exist. Perfect is the excuse of the afraid. Because if the standard is perfect, you never have to start. You never have to fail. You never have to be seen trying. So you sit, sharpening the axe, never swinging it. The tree lives, your life doesn't. The new generation turned waiting into a lifestyle. You watch 10 hours of content about starting a business before you make one offer. You save 100 posts about fitness before you do one set. You journal about your trauma before you take one step to change. You consume how to start instead of starting. You've been taught that you need to heal first, learn first, feel first. No, you act first. Healing happens in motion. Learning happens in motion. Feeling ready happens after motion. You are reverse engineering life, and it isn't working. Look at the cost. Time passes either way. 6 months from now, you will be 6 months older. The only question is, will you be 6 months experienced or 6 months still waiting? Every day you wait, the gap widens between who you are and who you could be. That gap becomes shame. Shame becomes paralysis. Paralysis demands more waiting. You enter a loop. The door was open the whole time, but you stood there waiting for permission from a feeling. Feelings don't give permission, they report weather. You don't need good weather to move. You need a direction. Kill it with the 5-minute rule and the 2-step. Step 1. Shrink the start. You don't need to feel ready for the mountain. You need to take 1 step. 5 minutes. Open the document. Do 1 push-up. Send 1 message. Write 1 sentence. Make 1 call. 5 minutes breaks the spell. Because once you start, you're in it. And in it is where ready lives. You'll never feel ready before. You'll feel ready 3 minutes in. That's how humans work. Action first, emotion second. Always. Stop arguing with biology. Step 2. Separate readiness from willingness. You don't need to be ready. You need to be willing. Willing to be awkward. Willing to be bad. Willing to be seen starting. Willing to fail publicly. Willingness is a choice. Readiness is a feeling. Choose willingness. Say it out loud. I am not ready, and I am starting anyway. That sentence kills the habit, because the habit lives on the lie that you need readiness. You don't. You need movement. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's action with fear. Readiness is not the absence of doubt. It's action with doubt. Practice with micro deadlines. Give yourself 10 minutes to start the thing before your brain talks you out of it. 10 minutes to post, to publish, to sign up, to ask. Speed beats waiting. Because waiting trains hesitation. Speed trains decisiveness. You are not building a perfect product. You are building a person who acts. That person wins. The waiter always loses. Your future does not reward the most prepared. It rewards the most persistent. And persistence starts with the first, ugly, unready step. This is not recklessness. Stoicism isn't leap without looking. It's look, then leap even if your knees shake. Prepare, then act. But set a limit on preparation. Research for 1 hour, then execute. Plan for 1 day, then execute. Thinking without doing is mental masturbation. It feels like progress. It's not. It's avoidance. The world doesn't pay for intentions. It pays for outcomes. Outcomes require action. Action requires you to stop negotiating with your feelings. The cost of not killing this habit is a life of almost. Almost started, almost wrote, almost said, almost became. You'll be 80 with a hard drive of notes and a heart full of regret. Regret for what you didn't do, not what you did. Because doing creates stories, even failures. Waiting creates nothing. Just a quiet, clean record of inaction. And inaction is the only true failure. So today, stop waiting. You are not ready. You will never be ready. Good. Start anyway. Start now. Start messy. Start scared. Start small. But start. The path appears after the first step, not before. The confidence comes after the rep, not before. The life you want is on the other side of action, not feeling. You don't need permission. You need motion. Move. 1 habit killed. You want life to be easy. That is why it's hard. Not because life is cruel, because you are at odds with it. You treat difficulty like an error, like someone broke the rules. You think struggle means something went wrong. It didn't. Struggle is the rule. Ease is the exception. You demand ease and get resistance. You demand comfort and get chaos. Because reality doesn't respond to demands. It responds to preparation. And you are unprepared because you trained for a world that doesn't exist. From the Stoic view, obstacles are the way. Not the detour, the way. Difficulty is not a bug in the system, It is the system. You grow under load. You learn through friction. You become through resistance. But you were sold a lie. That a good life is an easy life. That success should feel smooth. That if it's hard, you're doing it wrong. So when it gets hard, and it always gets hard, you quit, you blame, you break. Not because you can't do hard things, because you believed you shouldn't have to. This habit is entitlement with a smile. You think I work hard, so it should be easy now. No. You work hard, so you can handle hard. You think I'm a good person, so life should go well. No. Life goes. You choose good inside it. You think I planned, so it should work. No. Plans meet reality, and reality is undefeated. Your demand for ease is a child's demand. Children stamp feet at gravity. Adults learn to lift. You are still stamping, so you are still small. The new generation feels this sharply. Everything around you sells ease. One click, same day, no sweat, hack, shortcut, passive. You've been trained to optimize for less effort, then you're shocked when effort is required. You want the body without the training, the business without the risk, the relationship without the work, the peace without the discipline. You want the harvest without the planting, then you call the soil unfair. Your expectations are broken. Look at the cost. You start things and quit at the first wall, calling it a sign. It wasn't a sign, it was a test. You leave relationships when conflict appears, calling it toxic. Sometimes it is. Often, it's just real. You abandon goals when motivation dips, calling it misalignment. It wasn't. It was Monday. You live in a loop. Chase ease, hit reality, retreat, repeat. Each retreat makes you softer. Each demand makes you weaker. Soon, the smallest inconvenience feels like violence, because you built zero tolerance for life, and life has no tolerance for the intolerant. Kill it with amor to difficulty. Step 1. Expect resistance. Wake up and say, today will be hard in some way. Not pessimism, realism. When hard arrives, you're not surprised, you're ready. Surprise is what breaks people. Preparation steadies them. The hill didn't move. You brought legs. Stop being shocked that there's a hill. There's always a hill. Thank the hill. It's why you have legs. Step 2. Train for hard on purpose. You don't control when life gets heavy. You control when you lift heavy. So lift. Cold showers, early mornings, hard conversations, long runs, fasting, saying no, doing the work when you don't feel like it. These are not punishments, they are rehearsals. You are telling your mind and body, we do hard things here. So when unchosen hard arrives, loss, failure, illness, you don't collapse. You recognize it. You've met its cousin in training. You know the shape of it. You know you survive it. Step 3. Measure by action, not feeling. Stop asking, is this easy? Ask, is this right? Stop asking, do I feel like it? Ask, did I do it? Ease is not the metric. Integrity is. Progress is. Character is. If you only move when it's easy, you won't move. Because nothing worth having is easy. Not for long. The start is hard. The middle is hard. Mastery is hard. Maintenance is hard. If you demand ease, you demand nothing. Choose something. Then pay for it, gladly. Because the payment is what makes it yours. Practice reframing. Hard doesn't mean stop. Hard means grow. When you hit friction, don't say, why me? Say, train me. When you're tired, don't say, I deserve rest. Say, I'll rest after I earn it. When you fail, don't say, this shouldn't happen. Say, this does happen. Now what? You are not here to have an easy life. You are here to have a strong life. Strength and ease are enemies. Pick one. You can't serve both. This is not glorifying suffering. Stoicism isn't pain for sport. It's clarity about reality. Life includes pain. Demanding it doesn't make you a victim of every moment. Accepting it makes you a master of your moments. You still pursue better. You still build, fix, heal, improve. But you do it without the tantrum that it's hard. Of course it's hard. That's why it matters. If it were easy, everyone would do it. They don't. Will you? The cost of not killing this habit is a life of shrinking. You'll avoid anything that might be difficult, which is everything that matters. You'll stay in the shallow end, then resent people who swim deep. You'll call them lucky. They'll call it work. You'll die with potential intact, untouched, unused, because use requires pressure, and you demanded ease. You got it, and it emptied you. So today, drop the demand, pick up the load, expect hard, choose hard, become someone who can carry hard. Because life will be hard either way, but only one way makes you hard to break. You don't need easy, you need ready. Get ready. 1 habit killed, 2 to go. You think you're happy. You're not. You're stimulated. There's a difference. Pleasure is the hit. Happiness is the health. Pleasure is fast, loud, and leaves you emptier than it found you. Happiness is slow, quiet, and compounds. You chase the hit. You scroll for it, eat for it, drink for it, buy for it, swipe for it. You get it for 10 minutes. Then you need another, and another. That is not happiness. That is addiction with better marketing. From the Stoic view, pleasure is indifferent. Not good, not evil, just sensation, like heat or cold. It's data, not destiny. Happiness, real well-being, comes from character, from acting in line with reason and virtue. It comes from being the person you respect when no one's watching. But you were taught the opposite. You were taught that to feel good is to be good, that a life full of pleasant feelings is a life well lived. So you optimize for feeling good and end up being not good, anxious, empty, numb, restless, because pleasure without purpose rots. This habit is seductive because pleasure works instantly. You feel bad, you take the hit, you feel better for a moment, then worse. Because pleasure has a cost, and the cost is always due. Dopamine first, discipline later. But you don't pay later, you borrow again. Another hit, another scroll, another snack, another episode. You are taking loans against your future self and calling it self-care. It's not. It's self-theft. You are stealing peace from tomorrow to numb today. The new generation is drowning in this mistake. Pleasure is infinite, on demand, algorithmically perfected. You never have to be bored, sad, lonely, or uncomfortable. There's a feed for that, a drug for that, a delivery for that. You can bathe in pleasure 16 hours a day, and you do. Because your brain was not built for constant pleasure. It was built for effort, for challenge, for meaning. When you flood it with cheap hits, it adapts, it downregulates. Now normal life feels bleak. Real joy feels flat. You need bigger hits to feel anything. You are chasing the dragon and calling it happiness. Look at the cost. You trade long-term contentment for short-term relief. You trade deep work for shallow hits. You trade real relationships for digital validation. You trade your body for the taste. You trade your mind for the noise. You trade your future for the now. And now never lasts. So you live in a cycle. Crave, consume, crash, repeat. You become a person who can't sit with himself for 5 minutes without reaching for something. That is not freedom. That is dependence. And dependence on pleasure is the oldest prison. Kill it with voluntary discomfort and purpose. Step 1. Separate the two. Pleasure is a feeling. Happiness is a state. Pleasure asks what feels good. Happiness asks what is good. 2 different questions, 2 different lives. When you reach for the phone, the food, the drink, the purchase, pause. Ask, will this feel good or will this be good for me? If the answer is only feel good, don't do it. Not forever. Just for today. Break the reflex. Pleasure should serve you, not lead you. Step 2. Earn your pleasure. Make it the dessert, not the diet. Work first. Create first. Serve first. Then, if you choose, enjoy. But never before. When pleasure is unearned, it corrupts. When it's earned, it satisfies. The meal tastes better when you're hungry from work. The rest feels deeper when you're tired from purpose. The laughter is real when it isn't used to escape. Stop leading with pleasure. Lead with action. Let pleasure be the side effect, not the goal. Step 3. Practice subtraction. 1 day a week, cut the hits. No sugar, no alcohol, no porn, no social, no buying, no streaming. Nothing that gives you a spike. Feel the withdrawal. Feel the boredom. Feel the itch. That itch is the habit dying. On the other side of it is clarity. You'll remember what real food tastes like, what real conversation feels like, what your own thoughts sound like. You'll reset your baseline, because right now, your baseline is chaos. You need silence to hear yourself again. You need hunger to taste life again. This is not anti-joy. Stoicism isn't cold. It's clear. Joy is deep. Pleasure is shallow. You can have both, but only if pleasure doesn't run the show. Laugh, eat, make love, celebrate. But do it as a whole person, not a craving with legs. Don't use pleasure to avoid life. Use it to affirm life. There's a difference between enjoying the fire and burning your house down to stay warm. The cost of not killing this habit is a hollow life. You'll have a highlight reel of hits and no substance underneath. You'll be entertained and empty. You'll be stimulated and sad. You'll get old and realize you never actually lived. You just chased feelings about living. You'll be surrounded by pleasures and starved of meaning. That is the modern tragedy. Full pantry, empty soul. So today, choose happiness over pleasure. Choose the hard thing that builds you over the easy thing that numbs you. Choose the walk over the scroll, the water over the wine, the conversation over the content, the creation over the consumption. Choose the life that's good, not just the moment that feels good. You were not born to chase dopamine. You were born to build character. One builds you, one uses you. Pick. Pleasure is a tool, happiness is the work. Do the work, one habit killed. You live like you're immortal. Not in belief, in behavior. You postpone, you drift, you waste hours, days, years on nothing, because you assume there are more. You treat time like it's guaranteed. It isn't. You treat tomorrow like it's yours. It isn't. You live as if death is a distant rumor, not the only certainty you have. And that forgetfulness is the root of every habit we've killed so far. When you forget, you die. You live badly. When you remember, you live. From the Stoic view, death is not morbid. It's clarifying. It strips the trivial. It kills excuses. It puts urgency where it belongs, in today. You don't have forever to become who you could be. You have now. That's it. One now after another, until there aren't any. Every sunrise is a loan. Every breath is rented. You don't own time. You lease it, second by second, and the bill comes due without warning. But you act like a trust fund child with infinite credit, so you spend cheap. You spend on distraction, on pettiness, on fear, on comfort, on other people's opinions. You spend like you can't go broke. You can. You will. This habit is the most human and the most lethal. You know you'll die, abstractly. You don't know it practically. You keep it in the background. A fact for old people, for other people. You push it out of the room so you don't have to feel it. Because feeling it hurts. It demands change. It demands you stop lying. Stop waiting. Stop wasting. So you forget. You numb. You distract. You fill every silence so mortality can't speak. And in that noise, your life leaks away. Quietly. Daily. Until there's no life left to remember to live. The new generation is the best at forgetting. You have infinite content, infinite tabs, Infinite ways to avoid the one fact that would set you free. You can live your entire life without ever sitting in silence with your own end. Death is filtered, distant, sanitized. It happens to others, on screens, in games, not to you, not today. So you scroll, so you binge, so you delay the hard thing, the real talk, the risk, the apology, the start, because there's always tomorrow, until there isn't. And you don't get a notification when it's your last day. It just is. Look at the cost. You tolerate jobs you hate because someday. You avoid love because maybe later. You hold grudges because there's time. You don't say the thing because it can wait. You don't become the person because I'm still young. Young is not a shield. It's a lie you tell yourself so you don't have to act. People die at every age. Plans die at every age. Potential dies at every age. The only age that matters is now, and now is running out while you read this. Kill it with remembrance. Step 1. Keep death in the room, not to depress you, to focus you. Every morning ask, if today were my last, would I do what I'm about to do? Most days, the answer is no. Good, that's data. Change something, not everything. One thing, 1 hour, reclaim it. You don't need to overhaul your life. You need to stop wasting it. Death doesn't demand heroics. It demands honesty. Are you living, or are you waiting to live? Answer it daily. Before the day owns you, own it. Step 2. Use death as a filter. When you're afraid to act, ask, on my deathbed, will I regret trying or not trying? You know the answer. When you're angry over small things, ask, will this matter when I'm gone? It won't. Let it go. When you're about to break a promise to yourself, ask, how many more chances do I think I have? You don't know. Act like this is the last one, because one day it will be. Death turns urgency from anxiety into clarity. It shows you what's real. Your ego, your pride, your fear, they evaporate. What's left is what matters. Do that. Step 3. Live so you can die ready. That doesn't mean reckless. It means complete. Say the thing. Do the work. Love the people. Forgive. Ask. Risk. Create. Make peace. Build something that outlives you. Or be someone who could die at peace if nothing does. The point isn't to be famous. It's to be finished. To not die with your music inside you. To not die with apologies unsaid and attempts unmade. To not die having lived someone else's life. Your death is certain. Your life isn't. Make it certain by living it on purpose, today. Practice with deadlines, not the fake kind, the real one. You have one. You don't know the date. So treat every day like it could be close, not in panic, in presence. Eat like it matters. Train like it matters. Talk like it matters. Work like it matters. Because it does. The alternative is to sleepwalk to the end and wake up 1 second too late. Don't. Wake up now. This is your life. It's happening. It's ending. That's not a threat. That's a gift. Because endings give meaning. If you lived forever, nothing would matter. Because you don't, everything does. This is not despair. It's the opposite. Forgetting you die makes you numb. Remembering makes you alive. It burns away the trivial. It lights up the essential. You stop caring about likes. You start caring about legacy. You stop fearing judgment. You start fearing waste. You stop waiting to be ready. You start being ready because you have to be. Death is the deadline that makes life matter. The cost of not killing this habit is the ultimate one. You'll look back and see years you can't get back, chances you didn't take, words you didn't say, a self you didn't become. You'll have been busy, but not alive. You'll have existed, but not lived, and no one can fix that for you. Not then, not ever. The time is now, and now is all you ever have. So today, remember, you will die. So live. Not later, not someday, now, with urgency, with courage, with clarity, with love, with work, with truth. You don't need more time. You need more life in the time you have. Go get it. One habit killed, zero left. Now the work begins.